Mark, Brooke, we just got a copy of a protection order filed by the victim, Jackie Coles, against her husband. A local church is working and preparing to send volunteers to Haiti nearly a week after a devastating earthquake. Search and rescue crews were able to identify the body of 9-year-old Nora Cow when they pulled her out of these waters. Many people have struggled with keeping food on their table during the pandemic, especially the elderly. You can still see the mark from where the two men fell through in the water. Turning now to weather, you might be breaking out the sweaters and pumpkin spice lattes, but we've got some warm weather ahead of us. Take a look at this. It's this tree right here that fell onto a family's home around 1 a.m. Despite the FDA's current concerns about boosters, Americans should still expect an additional COVID shot in the future. I'm Madeline Ashley, live with what this means for outdoor dining. Now at 10, Ohio continues to see an increase in COVID hospitalizations, while local medical experts feel we could be reaching our peak. Plus, avoiding a government shutdown, how Democrats are gearing up to pass 2 parts of President Biden's plan without Republican help. Good evening, I'm Madeline Ashley. We start tonight with what rising COVID-19 hospitalizations in Ohio could mean about the state nearing a peak in cases. 2 News reporter Allison Gens is in the studio after speaking to health officials about trends in the Miami Valley. Ohio's 21-day case average is at 6,500. ODH also reported 224 more COVID deaths as the state total nears 22,000 during the pandemic. Ohio's vaccination rate remains below 54%, with Governor DeWine announcing a new incentive program for 12 to 25-year-olds to try and increase that number. ODH also releasing new guidance for booster shots following a CDC and FDA approval for select people. Over 3,500 COVID-19 vaccine providers in Ohio now have the green light to give booster doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine to people 65 and older or those with underlying medical conditions. Those eligible are encouraged to get a booster at least 6 months after receiving their primary dose. Turning now to weather, it's been feeling more and more like fall, but it's about to get a little warmer. Storm Team 2 meteorologist Carly Smith has a first check of your forecast. Carly, will we need a swimsuit or a sweater this week? The Dayton Fire Department called to Monmouth Street around midnight. Responders found a large bonfire in the rear of a vacant apartment building. The fire made its way through the 2nd floor, the attic, and the roof. It took fire crews about 45 minutes to extinguish the flames. This comes after another fire earlier in the week in the building next door. Police are investigating both incidents. In Ohio headlines, 1 woman dead and 2 others injured after a shooting in Cincinnati. This morning, police responded to the Over-the-Rhine neighborhood and found 3 people shot. A woman pronounced dead at the scene, with 2 others transported to a local medical center with non-life-threatening injuries. The identities of the victims have not been released, and police have not said if there are any suspects. The shooting is under investigation. Coming up, Love Northridge celebrates 5 years. How the annual cleanup project works to better community homes. And the Dayton Art Institute kicks off Oktoberfest, the changes they've made for the 50th anniversary. Good evening, I'm Madeline Ashley. We start tonight with President Biden commemorating the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks today with visits to each of the sites. Nearly 3,000 Americans were killed on that day. The Fairborn community also honoring those who lost their lives in the 9/11 attacks 20 years ago. 2 News reporter Allison Gens is live in the studio with more on the significance of today's ceremony. Also coming up later, we'll share a touching story about giving beds to children in need, how this act of kindness is honoring a 9/11 victim. Turning now to weather, we've had some pretty sunny weather these past few days with even warmer days ahead. Storm Team 2 meteorologist Carly Smith has a first check of your forecast. And in Ohio, the number of coronavirus cases has reached a new high. More than 8,000 new COVID cases were reported today. That's the highest single-day total since January 4th. The state's 3-week daily case average is at 5,400. ODH also reported 134 COVID-related deaths on Friday. More than 60% of Ohioans have started the vaccine process. Still to come tonight, donating beds to children across the Miami Valley. How this way of giving back honors a 9/11 victim and her charity work. And the Beaver Creek Popcorn Festival this weekend. How the popping event aims to bring people in the community together. At 10:24 Tuesday night, dispatchers received a chilling 911 call.
The guy inside my home with my daughter and my fiance held hostage. He has a gun to their head.
Riverside Police Sergeant James Vance, first on scene at 2555 Rendoa Avenue.
110, shots fired! Shots fired!
Sergeant Vance was then first fired upon by the suspect and exchanged gunfire with that suspect.
The suspect, 39-year-old Springfield resident Kevlin Wallace. Documents provided by Riverside Police show Wallace previously faced charges in Montgomery County, including kidnapping, aggravated robbery, and weapon possession while under disability. Wallace was convicted in 2000 and released last October.
Sergeant Vance was not struck by the suspect who fled north on Pleasant Valley. The suspect was located in the rear of 237 North Pleasant Valley after officers searching for him heard a single gunshot coming from the area.
The gunshot, a self-inflicted wound to the head. Wallace later died at Miami Valley Hospital. Chief Robinson commending 24-year veteran Sergeant Vance for his swift action.
The incident unfolded really quickly, and he reacted very quickly, and I think it saved his life and other people's lives as well.
A very emotional afternoon. I had a chance to sit down with Jackie's sister and her cousins to talk about the kind of woman that she was and how they want her to be remembered. 44-year-old Jackie Coles, gone too soon.
So she wanted to live, and she tried to live, and she lived a good life, and she worked hard.
Cole's sister Belinda Morris recalling the strong person her little sister Jackie was. On Tuesday, Coles was found dead in her home after the Clark County Sheriff's Office was called for a welfare check.
My parents are totally broken and lost. And their children are at a loss.
Cole's family believes she was killed by her estranged husband, Noel Coles Jr.
She had the best heart, and he took her from us, and he broke our family. And
the family hoping to use this tragic situation to help domestic abuse victims escape their own trauma.
Someone who gets it in their mind to hurt someone, and they say it's because they love them. They don't love them because you don't hurt someone you love.
For now, the Clark County Sheriff's Department is only calling Noel Coles Jr. a person of interest, not a suspect. Jackie's family tells me that there will be a vigil held tonight at 8:30 at her home at 141 Wineland Street. Starting out in a gym just like this, Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles withdrew from team finals competition for mental health reasons. And while it might be disappointing to some, many young and aspiring gymnasts say they're glad that their hero is putting self-care first. Love for sport.
I used to watch gymnastics on YouTube, and it kind of got me inspired to do it.
Also inspired by a gymnastic hero.
So who wants to talk about Simone Biles?
I'm her biggest fan.
An aspiring Olympic gymnast, Penelope says watching Biles compete helps her overcome fears.
I'm scared of the beam sometimes, and I watch her, I'm like, wow, I just want to be like her, and I just want to get better at doing gymnastics, and if she can do that, I can do it too.
Following Biles' withdrawal from the team finals competition, Penelope and her teammates say they understand why their idol needs a mental break.
Because everyone's body, you need to rest because everyone's body needs to prepare for the next practice or meet, so you have to rest.
For coach and Performance Gymnastics Academy owner Olivia Gambita, mental health more important than any medal.
It was also good for them to see that their hero, you know, like had a breaking point, and she's working on herself and fixing it, and now she's trying to get better for the rest of the Olympics.
And Penelope recognizes this rest will help her hero in the long run.
Like for the last meet we did see where she was kind of struggling, so maybe she needs time to focus and just get ready for the next time.
Though hopeful to see Biles compete again in the Tokyo Olympics, gymnasts at the Performance Gymnastics Academy say they want their idol to feel strong both physically and mentally. In Montgomery County, Madeline Ashley, 2 News working for you.